Hi, friends. Today I want to talk about a shift in language that I've been seeing amongst elected officials and how they've been discussing homelessness, in particularly unsheltered homelessness, and in particular encampments. To have many a mayor believed what we're seeing on the streets is a direct result of addiction, mental illness, and crime. We are led to believe that many people experiencing homelessness need involuntary treatment, which is to say, against will, consent, and sometimes even knowledge, people should be forced to get treatment for their mental illness and/or substance use. There is no doubt that a small percentage of people would likely benefit from such an approach. But the overwhelming majority of people have never been given the opportunity to voluntarily access those services. I know in my direct service years, and certainly working with lots of organizations throughout Canada, the United States, and Australia, that many individuals would voluntarily go to a substance use recovery program if they could get in. Many a person living with compromised mental illness would definitely get access to supports for their mental illness if they could find a spot to get in. And couching this as crime, well, that even flies in the face of evidence. You may know, for example, that there's a University of Colorado study that recently looked at encampments in Denver and found no relationship with crime. So, where is this coming from? Here's my take. What we're seeing in the housing crisis is a result of failed policy. Rather than accepting the failure of policy and the inability to develop housing at scale for people who need it, we have now reached a point where we blame the service user for using the service or needing the service. And instead of voluntarily designing programs and services for people to access, we're putting it under the language of criminal justice. We are labeling people who are unhoused as somehow criminally affiliated. It at least implies criminal behavior. And we're also taking a brush and painting everybody as living with an addiction or mental illness. We need good voluntary services, no doubt. Do we need involuntary treatment as the first step? No. Not only is the literature demonstrated that it's likely to be ineffective, it's also really costly. And maybe we should take a lower cost approach and develop a robust voluntary system first before we start suspending people's rights and forcing them to do something that they may not want to do. Listen to the language of your elected officials and ask yourself, is this an example of a politician covering their butt and their failed implementation of policy? Are people in my community experiencing homelessness really all living with addiction, mental illness, or involved with crime? And if the answer to the last question is no, then why are we spending resources on involuntary treatment? Think about it. Thanks for watching.